Alfonso Aguilar is the former chief of U.S. Office of Citizenship, and Ron Botello is the former chief of Border Patrol. Great to have you both on today. Alfonso, let me start with you. What do you make of Governor Abbott's plan?
Well, I think it's absolutely necessary. Healthcare is one of those areas that show the great economic impact of illegal immigration. The burden on the taxpayer at the federal level or the state level is very high. So this measure is absolutely necessary, not only to show the cost to Texas, but to use it as an argument to try to get that money back from the federal government. States have very limited resources, and this crisis is creating an incredible problem, taxing healthcare resources to the extreme, especially in states in border states like Texas. So it is necessary. It's going to be very hard for him to get the money back from the federal government, but I think it's a first step to highlight the impact that illegal immigration has on healthcare.
Yeah, Ron, just kind of staying away from the legalities of it. I'm sure there could be many challenges, or maybe there are not. But however you see it that way. For Governor Abbott, I mean, he has really been the spearhead, if you will, of the border crisis, right? Obviously, having the largest size of the United States-Mexico border there in his state. But busing migrants, again, putting this out, showing the entire nation the crippling effect bringing this amount of illegals into the country, doing so illegally, and then putting them in these cities that cannot handle it. Now you're seeing the financial burden, and he's showcasing that, or at least attempting to showcase the financial burden on the healthcare system, and then sending that bill right to the very same administration that kept the border open. Ron, your thoughts?
No, I agree with you. No one government has done more than our own as it relates to securing the border. Texas is, as you said, half of the U.S.-Mexico border. So all of the things that happen with the immigration policy, the flow across the border, human trafficking, the drugs, all of that affects border states and people that live at the border as much as it does all over the country. So him stepping out yet again and highlighting the problem and the failure of the U.S. government to secure the border. This is another way to demonstrate the burden, not only on his state, but the burden to the rest of us, the burden and the risks that we all now share with a lawless, chaotic border. And so him pointing it out, like with the busing to sanctuary cities, like, look, this is a big problem. Texas spends billions already helping the front line of the border. So just imagine if they weren't doing as much as they did on the Texas-Mexico border, how much worse it would be for the front line.
Sure. Not to mention the cost, but also the resources available. You know, I mean, how many doctors and nurses are able to assist? And you compare that to what's required of Texas residents. It'd be very interesting to track and just get that information out to the public. I did want to talk to you both about the issue of immigration on this election cycle. We've got the vice president now creating ads about her plan to address the border crisis. We've got part of it. Here's that.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking.
Alfonso, we know millions have crossed under the Biden-Harris administration. Is this ad convincing that she will approach this in a brand new way?
Of course not. It's hypocritical. They created this mess. They created this border crisis by doing away with the common sense border policies that President Trump put in place, allowing millions of people to arrive at our southern border and to enter the United States. So it's on them. And for her now to say that she's been tough on gangs, look, we have gangs that did not have a presence in the United States, like the Venezuelan criminal gang, Tren de Aragua. Now they have a presence in the U.S. in several cities, very dangerous gang, and it's because of their policies. So for her to now reinvent herself and say that she's tough on border security is absurd. And that's why I think the Trump campaign and Republicans have to be very clear in unmasking her and showing that this is an effort to really try to reinvent her position on immigration. She's been weak on immigration. This administration has from day one been weak on immigration, and because of their policies have generated this massive immigration wave that it's unprecedented.
Yeah, I mean, Ron, they're walking this out again, and I pointed this out multiple times we have on this program. She is not a new candidate. She is serving right now. It is the Biden-Harris administration. These record numbers crossing over the border by CBP, according to them, is under this administration, the Biden-Harris administration. And remember the moment where she says, don't come, don't come. They came, Ron.
Where are the results, right? What is she waiting for? If they want to secure the border, they can do that. They were handed a border that had less illegal activity across it in 50 years when they took over. Now we're under this worst surge ever during the pendency of this president. You know, she's broken all kinds of records. She's done a lot for the border. Record encounters, record gotaways, record human trafficking, record fentanyl seizures, record deaths of people in the pipeline. She's done a lot, but none of it is good. And nobody that's been paying attention to what happens on our border or what happens across the country with these illegal aliens committing crimes all over our country. Nobody that's paying attention believes anything about her being tough on the border.
Yeah. She serves as the vice president now. She was assigned to oversee the root causes of immigration now. Why aren't you acting now? Alfonso and Ron, we got to leave it right there. Thank you both for coming on today.
Thank you.